Thought you were too sick to practice.
Casting Will Ferrell so that this cameo can be both a literal and figurative blindside.
You're the most talented superhero I've ever seen.
That's an oddly specific way of admitting you've only ever seen one superhero, Will.
Now, please. It's me, Coach Brink.
The Boys once again giving a big old V sign to anyone who doesn't keep up with a decidedly meh spinoff.
Ferrell f***ing Streep.
Where? Let me see. Damn it, The Boys. Don't you dare tease me with Herogasm 2 if you don't plan to deliver.
I'm not giving off too much of a blindside vibe, am I?
Will Ferrell would be excellent at stealing jokes I came up with first, but am unable to prove and will never be believed by the internet because it's filled with meanies.
What is that smell?
That is the smell of me wondering how you've survived 3 seasons of The Boys and 1 season of Gen V. It's a pungent mix of rage, disappointment, and that feeling when you're not quite sure if you're about to vomit or not.
Benny Long and Ian Rashford savagely beat 3 good men to death.
Your Foxman-Terry social news satire almost made me miss the blatant news position. Well done. Risking damaging the sensitive medical equipment your friend is relying on to breathe instead of just finding the remote and turning the TV off like a normal human being.
Oh.
Where the f*** did this phone come from? In the previous shot, Colin was holding Frenchie's right hand before the hug, and now mid-hug, Frenchie spawned a phone in the same hand. Not impressed? Tough. Bow to me, for I am your savior, continuity man. Also, hanging your bike above a radiator. Unless you like melty tires, of course. Yes, this really is the stuff that keeps me up at night. I said bow to me.
How long you got? It's none of your f***ing business. You're done. Fired.
Whoa, MM, you never heard of a retaliation lawsuit? Maybe consult with HR before you terminate an employee due to illness.
The chosen one narrative only works if he stands alone. Harry Potter, Neo, Luke Skywalker.
Let's see. Harry had Ron, Hermione, and most of the Wizarding School faculty. Neo had Morpheus, Trinity, and the entirety of physics. And Luke had Leia, R2, C-3PO, Han, and arguably Darth Vader. The real narrative is that all of these chosen ones would have died if they stood alone. You expect me to believe Ashley was capable of running from the meeting room to the elevator in heels without tripping or stumbling once? Unless she was being chased by a T-Rex, I'm not buying it. This driver's license is supposedly good for 8 years, which is impossible because Michigan requires you to renew every 4 years. Boom! Let's go!
Continuity man reigns supreme!
Ryan, on the day you're gonna throw me for real. I can take it.
He cannot.
It's a rodent from South America.
Oh, so you're f***ing land mammals now.
I know Ashley gets on a ton, but this roast is so good I want to stick it in my crock pot.
But you put that down and get the out of my operation.
Well, it's lucky for me that you ain't my boss no more.
MM accepts this reasoning and lets Butcher come along on the mission anyway. Look, we want the boys to be able to the boys. The writers clearly want the boys to be able to the boys. So why can't we just let the boys instead of starting every season with them being unable to the boys? I'm sure there are more outrageous conspiracy theories on show here, but if these guys really believe in the smartphones equal alien mind control and the internet is dead thing, it does make me wonder how they managed to organize their attendance at this convention. Of all the beers available, Kimiko, the soup hater, picks a soup-branded beer?
That's gonna move on. The flat earthers get the space at 4:30.
But isn't the flat earthers' inability to get space kind of their fundamental flaw? Although it makes sense to not anger them, they're not huge fans of hanging around.
If you add up
You ain't leaving my sight.
Butcher's intent here was to follow Frenchie and see what Splinter was up to. But despite his colorful protest earlier proclaiming his rights as a free citizen, he does exactly what MM asks and stays behind like a good butcher.
If you add up all
You ain't leaving my sight.
of all of the Tom Hanks movies, you get 311, which is the police code for child porn. It's just math.
Firecracker claiming that all the letters in every Tom Hanks movie add up to 311, which is impossible because he just finished filming another 3 movies before she even finished speaking. Also, math. Although conspiracy math is the best type, since the answer to every equation is whatever the f*** you need it to be. Also, in terms of letters, 311 wouldn't even get you into the 2000s in terms of Hank's filmography. Yes, I counted. No, I don't feel good about it. Yes, I want to watch Castaway again. No, The Terminal isn't a piece of shit you think it is. And yes, Big is problematic and overrated. Vanity. We can't show you what's happening on screen, so I'm just going to trust that you know what's happening and send it as follows. Each Splinter appears to be a unique, self-thinking entity that works in service of the Prime Splinter. So why does he care if they're also, satisfied? Why wouldn't he just have them all pay attention to him? Also, I'm kind of shocked that Frenchie and Kimiko are shocked. They've seen a tiny man climb into another man's penis, and yet this enhanced self-love technique leaves their jaws on the floor. And finally, VFX and CGI have been used to create all sorts of glorious and wonderful things over the years, but I think this human centipede might prove it's time to stop. Just everything. Just stop it all.
We got a call from Boise, Idaho. There's a terrorist who's got like the whole movie theater held hostage.
We're about to find out this entire story is an easily exposed lie when A-Train's brother shows up. So why even bother A-Train? There's no way his brother isn't going to expose this shit as soon as his boys start yapping about it on Votstagram or whatever. He's the fastest man on the planet. He literally could have pulled off 6 heroic things before breakfast to brag about.
And what? What you mean, man? Then I got some popcorn. I watched the rest of Pacific Rim Uprising.
Lies? No, not the saving lives part. It's just statistically unlikely that you were one of the 23 people who actually saw Pacific Rim Uprising. Also, forgive me if I find it hard to believe that the staff of a theater who just survived a terrorist attack are going to be hanging around to let you watch half of a terrible movie.
But I'm a soup. Sister Sage, I work with Homelander. Bullshit.
Sage uses a photo to prove she works with Homelander, and somehow Firecracker doesn't think that the smartest person in the world would be able to Photoshop this shit. Hell, generative AI is so good, you didn't even spot that I put myself into this picture right behind Homelander.
These people got nothing. Maybe they lost a job or a house or a kid to Oxy. And politicians don't give a shit. Mainstream media tells them to be ashamed of their skin color, so I'm gonna bring them together, tell them a story, give them a purpose.
Wow, it sure is weird that the boys decided to wait until season 4 to get all political and shit. So weird. Well, I guess I can always just watch season 1 again. No satire there at all. Now, where's my gallon of milk and pacifier?
£10 of C4 with an inch fuse poking out your ass, you are?
Butcher, I've never been one to judge a man by the porn he watches, but 10 pounds of C4 in the ass is a very specific thing to bring up as a random turn of phrase.
It's hard to commit a murder when you're 20 blocks away.
Well, yeah, with that attitude. Kids.
She said 9 p.m. in a deep blue sea room, no?
I sure did.
In order for Sage to have executed this dramatic sentence finishing entrance, she would have had to open the door without anyone realizing, and heard Frenchie, who essentially said this under his breath. Yes, all soups probably have super hearing, so I can believe that last part, but then why didn't Kimiko hear her coming in?
Toss your guns.
Oh no, the heroes are outnumbered and outgunned. Surely this is the end. Surely episode 2 of the new season is when they finally meet their match.
And Homelander would like it if you kill them. You're not as impressive as I heard.
Premature sage abrasion. I didn't expect the heroes who can mitosis themselves Venn diagram to ever include The Boys, Invincible, and Doctor Who. But welcome to 2024, where bodily bifurcation appears to be the only proven way to escape a social media echo chamber. Listen, unless you're specifically writing something deliberately outrageous for a TV show, there is no way you're booking a bat mitzvah one room over from a convention that is actively pushing an anti-Semitic agenda. I sometimes feel like The Boys Writer Room is actually just a 6-minute Mad Lib session transferred to a script. Okay, I need a religious event, a location, and a specific number of dicks. No, you don't get to choose the body part. It's always a specific number of dicks. Also, congrats Mim and Frenchie for ducking behind the one apparently reinforced wooden table that can take hits from multiple handguns and assault rifles. Hilarious, but none of these photos are coming out this clearly unless Kimiko and Firecracker were deliberately following step 2 and holding these poses for comedic effect. Frenchie held his head under the liquid chocolate for like 6 seconds. Why do these clones have the lung capacity of a person that is already mostly drowned? It's amazing that the one character who can survive getting shot in the head is the one character who always gets shot in the head. I believe it's called the Wolverine effect. Stealing your clone pile-on from The Matrix Reloaded. And no, making it naked doesn't make it better.
Get the boys out of here!
The fact that Butcher can still form words suggests that this chokehold may have forgotten to do the choke part.
No, not Prime!
Then why the was Prime even in the fight? He could literally be in the sauna still analyzing himself, but he chooses to be in the middle of the danger instead.
You look like shit.
Character says another character looks like shit when they don't actually look like shit to demonstrate they know the character has been through some shit. Cliche.
He's just seeing him day after day, one thing led to another, and...
So what happens when he finds out you murdered his family?
Is there any character in this show that isn't angry at Frenchie for getting their family killed? I feel like we meet someone new every season who's furious with him for that exact reason. Can't someone be mad at Frenchie for stealing their taxi or promising to water their houseplants and then forgetting?
Your promise isn't worth the piece of paper it's printed on.
I don't understand that.
Huey's mom would be excellent at I can't believe it took Huey all day to come up with that. Gosh dang it, how's the dumbass not dead yet? Sins. Bloody hell, guys, this is taking the piss. I can't believe you dragged me in here to lay in this bed and say nothing. Have you not seen the Cornetto trilogy? I'm hilarious. I've been nominated for a BAFTA for sake. You do realize this is the reason we aren't getting Star Trek 4/14, right?
The day you left, it was a Friday.
Skip.
To be a good skipper, you gotta be a right arsehole. Ain't no room for compassion.
And 4 seasons in, you'd think Butcher would be allowed to develop past believing the key to success depends on the rightness or wrongness of your arsehole. And perhaps even he could concede that what this team is missing is competent leadership, regardless of arseholery.
The right move to make was to nab that Sage.
Assuming the smartest person in the world wouldn't have had a contingency plan for being openly attacked. Come on, you wouldn't be saying this about Homelander because of his laser eyes. Sage's intellect is just as dangerous, and the boy should at least be smart enough to realize that.
Maybe I can do one thing right with the time I got left. Get Ryan safe. I can't do that alone. I can't do it without you.
So to be clear, Butcher just explained that a good leader needs to be brutal and show no compassion, and then compassionately pleads with MM to demonstrate some compassion and let him back on the team so he can fulfill his mission of compassion to save Ryan.
Right.
Okay, here's your penis.
Nothing you say is gonna change my mind.
Damn it, Reggie.
I mean, my wiener said to me, Jackie, I've had enough of this orgy. Put me back in your underwear.
I'm a vitality consultant. Vitality. You're super you.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Take your fruit, your stupid small fruit, and get out!
You are not a man. You are a big fat joke.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off.
Please disperse. Nothing to see here.
The day you left, it was a Friday.
But for me, it was Tuesday.